That was probably the most disappointing aspect of the Pac-12 for me this year.
I like it. Where are we going next?
My conference player of the year, Caleb Williams. He can have the Heisman.
I think we're going to share this answer.
Conference player of the year, I'm going Michael Penix Jr. Just the way he just completely turned around this Washington program. Like, a lot of the credit is given to Kale DeBoer. Is that Kale? Is that his name?
Kalen DeBoer, yeah.
Kalen DeBoer. A lot of credit, obviously, you got to give to him, but for him to hit the portal, for Penix Jr. to hit the portal and kind of just revive his entire career. I mean, this guy, we were talking about him potentially being, best quarterback in the Big Ten a couple years ago until the injury issues. But for him to bounce back the way he did at Washington, lead the country in passing yards, like Washington Huskies finishing top 10, like they have a legit claim. Like I really do hate that the Pac-12 totally jumped the gun in these getting rid of divisions. Like you can't just get rid of the divisions. You have to change the scheduling somehow to make up for that. Like they beat Oregon, who is the best team in the traditional Pac-12 North. Like they're getting to the Pac-12 title game. So it is disappointing because they have a claim to be the best team in the Pac-12 this year, and they never played Utah. So, Michael Penix Jr. was just such a difference maker this year.
That's a good point. I agree. Michael Penix Jr., Washington was number 1 in passing offense and 376 yards per game. They finish in the top 10 in yards per attempt at 8.7, 30 TDs, 8 picks, 154 QB rating. He was awesome, man, all year long. So I agree with you. Michael Penix, double-digit wins this year, especially after what we saw last year from this team with Jimmy Lake and that offense with Coach Donovan running the offense, where you're like, all right, it's year 1. We'll see. And it can just be hard. And they were just, they knew their identity. I think that's the other part of when you have to take over these new programs now. It's just that, like, you need to have that identity ready to go. And we know what they're going to do in Washington. We know what UW's about right away. And they're Tennessee West. So I'm excited to see the Huskies when we get to go out there to Washington State soon. I think, what is it, 2025, 2026? Tennessee opens at Washington. They signed that on not too long ago. So that could be
at
fun.
Washington or Washington State?
At Washington.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Washington is in the state is what I'm saying, yeah. Not DC.
Washington, Tennessee. That's a great matchup. That's the kind of matchup
site.
we need to see in college football, without a doubt.
Absolutely.
We're gonna get Utah. We're gonna get Oregon we're gonna get Florida at Utah next year. That should be a good one.
Game of the year for you, Matt Green.
Is there one that stood out to you?
Oh yeah, the obvious one for me is Washington, Oregon. Washington, Oregon was my number 1 Pac-12 game of the year. That was incredible. The back and forth, the crazy calls by Dan Lanning.
Yeah,
that cost the Ducks. Bo Nix getting hurt and trying to get himself back in there, and Penix just throwing a crazy pick late, and Oregon proceeding to sit on the ball for as long as they did. That game for me was the game of the year for the Pac-12 for me.
That probably was the game of the year. I feel like Dan Lanning left such a salty taste in my mouth after that one, because I feel like he just gave it away at the end. But that was an incredible game. I think USC Utah the first time around for Utah, that was just an absolute track meet. There's like 1,100 yards of offense in that game. Like for Utah to go for 2 at the end the way they did was just incredible. But also Washington over Oregon State, I feel like was kind of the low key game of the year. Washington went on started the final drive at the 3-yard line. They won 24-21 in this game. Got the ball at the 3-yard line, went 18 plays, 82 yards, and kicked a field goal with like 8 seconds left in the game. Big time win for the Huskies this year. But yeah, Pac-12 was just a whole lot of fun.
Pac-12 was a lot of fun. It was very top-heavy, though. There were just so many good teams at the top for the Pac-12 that you could have – a lot of the USC games were fun late. UCLA was must-see television most week. But, yeah, no, Pac-12 was a lot of fun. I think we're going to differ on our coach of the year, though, for you. Your coach of the year, Matt Green.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about UCLA really. Zach Charbonnet.
Yeah.
I mean, that's another one of the low key players of the year. They're
going to be forgotten that they had a really great year because they were right there in the middle. People are going to remember Utah, Washington, USC. They're not going to remember UCLA, and they had a great year.
I mean, half of this conference went 9-3. Like there's like 6 teams. Like,
but there were some god awful teams in this conference this year.
that could
Colorado
contribute to
was
it.
Horrific.
But yeah, I think you got to go coach of the year, Jonathan Smith at Oregon State.
Do you have to go? Make the case. I love Jonathan Smith. He just got an extension.
I think you do. I mean, Oregon State, what was their over-under win total, did I say, to start the year? 6.5?
Mm-hmm.
This team went 9-3, 8-4, 9-3.
I thought it was 8-4. Did they go 9-3?
Like I kept being shocked at how many teams went 9-3 every time I looked. You're probably right. They probably ended up. Yeah, they ended up 9-3.
They did go 9-3.
Beat Oregon at the end of the year. Like this team finished ranked 14th. Like the Oregon State Beavers are 14th in a year where there's 6 ranked teams in the Pac-12. This isn't like a down Pac-12 that Oregon State like found a way to win some games. Like this is a strong conference. They lost a close game to USC early in the year, close game at Washington. Like they were a good team all year long.